Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Sizlar bilan ingliz tili o'qituvchisi Sarsimbayev Husniddin va yana Kichik Auditoriya podkasti.
Joe Rogan Bruni experience.
If presidential schools didn't exist, what would Uzbekistan's education lose?
And if that means a shapalak, then that's
shapalak.
Yeah. It needs a shapalak, yeah.
Then afterwards we can move on to the next questions. If it's okay.
Whatever your tutor's been telling you, it's wrong. Because there's a lot of good students outside. Don't be afraid to talk.
If you can afford, go.
It aspires to become, by 2030, in the top 300 universities in the world. Ambitious needs a structure. Ambition needs a plan. I'm a Man United fan, so I've had 12 years of pain and suffering. Or Dorakona.
Dorakona?
Dorakona, yeah. Well, if you're good, you can be replaced. There's no such thing. Messi left Barcelona.
Yeah.
And you can get into a top 100 university in the UK with IELTS 6.5. And to the parents, if you send your child here, you won't regret it. We will do a good job. We will look after. We're hoping that this will be the equivalent of the Joe Rogan experience.
Husniddin Sarsimbayev bilan ta'limiy mavzularda Kichik Auditoriya podkasti. Kichik Auditoriya Husniddin Sarsimbayev bilan.
I am Husniddin Sarsimbayev. Husniddin.
What's your name?
Husniddin.
Husniddin.
Yeah.
Husniddin. Frank.
Okay.
How'd you do?
What can I call you?
Frank.
Okay, just Frank, yeah? It's okay, it's normal.
Yeah.
Any
Any other ideas? You can call me. Yeah, no problem. Just make me look 20 years younger. Good job.
20 yoshgacha yetib ko'rsatmen dedi.
He said the camera's not that good. Where do you want me to look? Where do you want me to look?
This is yours.
Do you want me to look that way?
Yeah.
But I need to look at you sometime.
That's the main camera.
Yeah. It's okay.
It takes both of us.
Yeah. Nice setup.
I've got a little bit project, YouTube project. It's a podcast project.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a small town, Biruni, far from here.
Yes.
Yeah, that city. I have got this podcast and I do content with educational people.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
That's why we decided to invite.
No problem. Yeah. I did a similar one in Bukhara.
Yeah, with Adasta.
With you've seen that?
Shafjahan told me that.
Yeah. You've watched it? No.
I think
I need another. I need more views.
I couldn't find that anyway.
You can't find my. Oh,
I looked for.
I got 18,000. Come on.
No, let's do it later.
I'll ask him to send you a link.
No, I'll find it.
No, you'll find it. It's okay. It was quite interesting actually.
He will send me the link.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
I got some introduction in Uzbek.
Yeah, no problem.
Mind. And after that we can continue our podcast.
Problem. Yeah.
Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Sizlar bilan ingliz tili o'qituvchisi Sarsimbayev Husniddin va yana Kichik Auditoriya podkasti. Bugun shu o'tgan podkast sonimizda va'da berganimizdek toza obnovleniyalar, ya'ni toza mikrofonlar bilan boshlasak sal boshqacharoq bo'lib turibdi hayajonda. Bugungi bizlarning mehmonimiz Nukusdagi joylashgan Prezident Maktabining direktori Frankfurt bilan suhbatimiz bo'lib o'tadi. Bu podkast sal boshqacha, avvalgi sonlarga qaraganda boshqacha bo'ladi, sababi o'zbek tilida emas, inglizcha bo'lib o'tadi. Albatta bu inglizcha podkastimizning tarjimasini o'zbekchalashtirib biza tarjimalab qo'yishimiz mumkin. Keyingi epizoddan balkim uni YouTube'ga qo'yishimiz mumkin, lekin asosiy ingliz tilida bugungi suhbatimiz bo'lib o'tadi, sababi mehmonimiz Britaniyadan hisoblanadi. You British?
Yes.
Yeah. Xullas, Prezident maktabidagi o'qishga kirgandan keyin avval bilasizlar 4-son podkastimizda o'qishga kirish haqida suhbatlashganmiz Yerlan bilan, Akmal bilan. Ana shu ikkovi bilan bo'lgan suhbatimizda Prezident maktabga yetib kiradi o'qishga. Endi bu sonimizda o'quvchilar kirgandan keyin qanday ahvolda bo'ladi va nafaqat o'quvchilar, balkim o'qituvchilar uchun balkim foydali maslahatlar ham berib o'tishimiz mumkin. Bugungi podkastimizda albatta podkastimiz zo'r bo'ladi degan umiddamiz. Unday bo'lsa, ketdik. In episode 4 we talked about entrance exams, how people can enter this presidential school. That's the main topic. But in today's topic, we are going to talk about with you about after the examination. period after the in the school year, and also we are going to talk about the teachers here. But first of all, before we can start, you can introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name's Frank Ford. I'm currently an academic director here at Nukus Presidential School, and before I came here in January 2025, and before that I was 3.5 years as academic director in Presidential School Bukhara. So I've transferred, and this is now starting my fifth year with the presidential schools here in Uzbekistan.
Oh, that's before that. Where have you worked?
Oh, nice.
If it's okay.
Okay. Before that, the previous 4 years I was working in the UAE. I was living in a place called Ras Al Khaimah, and I was working in one of the Emirates. There are 7 Emirates in the UAE, and this is one that nobody's heard of called Al Quwain. Before that, I had spent 19 years working in Brunei. On a project. Brunei is on Borneo. The education system there is all in English, even though the people are Malay. There's Chinese, there's indigenous peoples. So there's a project there that's been going on for nearly 40 years. When I first went overseas in 1989, that's a long time ago. That's before the parents of the students in the presidential school were born. I went to Kuwait, and then from Kuwait I worked in Bahrain for 2 years, and then from Bahrain I worked in Oman. I worked in the UAE for 1 year. I worked in Sharjah. Where did I go from there? Then I went to Oman for a year. Then I had 3 years in Saudi Arabia. I left Saudi Arabia in 1997, and then I went to Brunei, then the UAE, and then came here in 2021.
Shahjahan told me that you worked in Cambridge.
No. Well, worked in Cambridge, meaning what?
I don't know. Shahjahan?
Cambridge
system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got to remember that there isn't really such a thing as a Cambridge system. The Cambridge exams I had. Brunei, for example, does Cambridge exams. Yes, so I had 20. We were doing various exams for students, grades 8 and 9 that were Cambridge, students that were grade 10 and 11 that were Cambridge. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So what was the role you did there in the previous working places?
In the previous place, when I was in the UAE for 4 years, they have something called a lead teacher, where you're responsible for like a secondary school, a primary school, and a lower primary and kindergarten, where you administer and help out with the international staff. In other places, I've been an English teacher. My first job overseas, I was actually teaching maths. I've taught a bit of history. I started off my career teaching sport and physical education, but I upskilled. I started training in English, got English language qualifications, and I've moved into English language for the last 25 years.
Oh, that's good. You said that you have worked in 2 presidential schools.
Yeah.
Which one did you find hard to work?
They're not hard to work. I wouldn't say neither is hard to work. There are little differences. This place is slightly different. In that we're actually in a, like I say, Karakalpakstan and Bukhara, slightly different.
Yeah.
Students are slightly different, but the drive of the students, the academic excellence is very much the same. The demands are very much the same.
Because they are sorted in lots of applicants.
Yeah,
Maybe
I believe.
that's the reason.
I'm told. I believe that we get 3,000 applicants, and they take 24, which they say is about 2%. So it's very competitive getting in here in grade 5.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to have some background information about you. Then afterwards we can move on to the next questions, if it's okay. What inspired you to follow your teaching?
Good question. Not sure. When I finished school and I wanted to go and study, I wanted something to do with sport.
Mhm.
So the easiest way to stay in sport, particularly if you're not going to be a professional athlete, is to become a teacher. So it was a logical pathway for me to stay. It also meant that I moved to London, moved away. So I went to London for 4 years and studied physical education. And that's probably the reason why I wanted to stay involved. I was playing rugby at the time.
Yeah.
And but I got injured and I had to stop, and I took up. At university, I had a year where I did nothing because my back was so badly injured. I was too small to play rugby. I just got battered like a little boy. And
Yeah. You may continue.
yeah, well, that's what happened. And I actually left university and was a full-time karate instructor at the time.
So he's also a former karate.
Yeah. He's told me, he's a fit, strong boy. So I was a full-time karate instructor. Then I did that for a time.
Oh.
And then and at the same time that I was doing what's called supply teaching, where a teacher goes into school when there's sickness and you just fill vacancies.
Yeah.
So I would teach for a term. You get paid per day. I did that for a few years. And then in 1989, I basically decided I wanted to go overseas. So I applied for jobs overseas.
That's good.
And that's what happened. And I went to Kuwait. I got a job in Kuwait teaching physical education and maths.
That's really complex. How did you find teaching math after becoming a PI teacher?
Well, no, I think to be fair, I think for grade 5, 6, and 7, I think anyone who's a qualified, you got to remember that when I was qualifying, remember I got my teaching qualification between 1981 and 1985. So I did a 4-year degree. So you do a degree and you do an honours degree. And I did what's called a Bachelor of Education, which is a specialist degree for teachers. So you're not doing a degree and then adding a postgraduate. So it's a specialist degree for teachers. And they would expect in the UK, for example, that anybody should be able to teach 5, 6, and 7, any subject. It's when you start get to 10 and 11 that you need that subject specialization. So I could never. So I started off teaching maths. Maths in grade 7 is fine, particularly in England, where it's nowhere near as demanding as it is here. You guys here are brilliant at maths.
I mean, they are both diverse fields. That's why
True,
I just got interested.
But I think when I first came to here and during the first term in the presidential school, I was the science teacher in Bukhara because we didn't have one.
Yeah.
So I taught science to grade 5, 6, and 7. And I would expect anyone you've got, particularly with Cambridge, where you've got real good support. We have a hub, you have online, you have plenty of online materials. Now you've got YouTube videos. I had help from a couple of my colleagues, Dr. Kevin, who was the chemistry teacher there, teaching grade 10 and 11, pointed me in the right direction. We had my colleague, the computers teacher, Mr. Goer, helped me out with BBC Bite Size. So it's teaching, I think teaching 5, 6, and 7, I would think that anybody who's got a teaching degree
Are you
can
teaching
do
classes?
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've got a full timetable.
No,
I teach here. While I was in Bukhara, for example, I had a full timetable of 24 lessons.
Oh.
Yeah. Full timetable.
What drew you there to become a director?
Well, the funny story with me is when I first came here, I was just going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I came here just as a teacher. And when I first arrived, I actually did an interview for Uzbek TV, and I met a few people, and instead of going to Samarkand, where I was supposed to go, I was virtually taken off the bus and said, "You're going to Bukhara as academic director." I just think they wanted an old man.
Okay,
that's basically, yeah.
Next question for you. What do you expect from the pupils who come here? 5th grade. What should they do?
5th grade?
Yeah.
Well, expectations.
Yeah.
It's a big jump. I mean, we here in Nukus, we have some students who live 150 kilometers away.
Yeah.
You could even live as far as Moynak, even further. And we've also got students now expected to work at a high level in a third language, many of them the fourth language. So the expectation is that they're adaptable. Yeah. The kids are only 11, they're babies. If you look at the size of our grade 5s, they really are little kids. So I'm a little bit different, I have to say. I think sometimes too much pressure is put on the grade 5s. But they're obviously very smart. They're very competitive. They're well schooled. They're good students. My view is that we give them 1 year to settle in, get their English up, so that they can access. Because when the students come in here, it's not like they're in a school here, like school number 27,
it's really different.
where you do English in English, but we do maths in English, we do science in English, we do global perspectives in English, we do English, and we do computer science in English. So we do 5 subjects in English, on top of doing Karakalpak language, Uzbek and Russian.
Yeah.
So for our grade 5 students, give them a chance to adapt and develop into the kind of students that we expect. So I try not to put too much pressure on them, try to keep homework to a minimum, give them a chance to read, because it's a shock.
Yeah.
The standards here are very high.
I know too many students here, but they say it's difficult. Before coming here, I was asked a question that, is there any similar schools in your own country?
Well, I haven't worked in England since 1989. So when you say a similar school,
Like this.
Well, you mean a government school?
Yeah.
A selective government school that works at the level we do? I would imagine not. This system here was copied from Kazakhstan. They have a similar system. I actually think, from what I've heard, that we do it better.
This one.
Yeah. So having the idea that we remember, we're a government school as well. So there are plenty of good private schools.
Yeah.
But this is free. This is a government school. This is the difference. So I would imagine that there aren't many. Someone can correct when they put comments on your video, but I wouldn't imagine that there's many places to compete. But I wouldn't imagine there are many places that compete with the presidential schools, the level we work at with what we've got anywhere in the world. So I think we're very competitive.
Yeah. I was also told that this is the first school in Uzbekistan, the strongest one. Is it true?
Which school? This school?
This
Nukus?
school, yeah.
No.
From 14 schools?
No, I don't. No, I don't know who told you that. It's difficult to measure. This was one of 4 schools that started in 2019, and it was here, Khiva, Namangan, Tashkent, and they had a 2-year start. Then in 2021, 10 other schools in the other areas. What this school has been good at for the last 2 years is computer science at the top end. Our grade 10 and 11 computer science results are absolutely incredible. So in that case, we are easily the best school in Uzbekistan. And I would say we would be very few schools in Central Asia, many schools in the world that would outperform what's gone on in this school in computer science at the top end of the school, which is a credit to everybody in the computer science department who's produced students, so that our grade 11 teacher, 10 and 11 teacher, Mr. Nulubek, is able to take what the other teachers, we've got Aziz, we've got Mr. Okhlia, who's one of our international teachers from Nigeria. They've done great work, teachers before. So in that case, we're strong. There's in a couple of instances where we're not quite so good. And the strength of the schools generally is spread around. There's no, we take external exams in June. And last year, this school in grade 10 was like top 1% off the top school. In grade 11 last year, the school was 7th, which is a big improvement than the previous years when it didn't do so well. So all the schools, the standards are good. But we're, the main thing is we're striving for excellence. And last year as well, one thing I think that we were top at, and this is I only came here in January. The school, we managed to get 8 students over 24 students to international universities. So it was very successful.
How do you find yourself? How do you describe yourself? Strict or kind to the?
You
to
mean
the people?
as a teacher?
Yeah, as a teacher.
No, I'm just.
You're just friendly.
I have to do my best because everyone in the class is so much smarter than me. So I have to be nice. So they treat me nice.
What about strictness? Where do you feel?
No, you
strict?
don't need to be strict. I've never. You have to be consistent and fair. I think when you go for a job interview and they ask you about discipline and strictness, that's a sign that they've got no control, and nobody can survive in those situations.
Yeah.
I've had that in a couple of the countries that I've worked in, where the kids just do what they want. Here, you don't need to be what I call strict. You just need to be fair, consistent, and kids are well disciplined here. They do their work. They know why they're here. Their parents are very supportive, so no need to be strict. Not really.
They are selected students because that's the way. But in public schools, one has to be really strict because many of the people cannot do the discipline.
Well, I've been into government schools here, and I've been into the government schools in Bukhara. I've been into a teacher that's got 50 students. I went into one student 55, and there was control. Because there's respect for education here. Strict, you see, I always say that the government schools, if the government schools were really terrible, then the students that we get wouldn't be able to adapt.
Yeah.
So we get students that are able to adapt, and that's because they've been well trained. Now we have to take that and take it to the next level, and that is difficult.
What does leading a presidential school mean to you here?
Well,
Sorry.
No, well, I'm not really a leader. I would be the wrong person to speak to. I can't say I'm an academic director. I have a role. Mm-hmm. I don't lead. I'm not the principal. I'm not the vice principal. I work with two vice principals who have control over what we do. Or it says I'm not a leader. I'm part of what you would call the management and the leadership team. I basically see myself as being supportive. The most important. Although every student and all the years are important, we can't get away from the fact that it's the students who graduate from our school that need to be our focus. Mm. And my job, I see, is to try and support the teachers that are delivering content to those in grade 11 and grade 10, where we do external exams.
Is there any pressure for a teacher
here?
Yeah,
absolutely. I've just got back from Kiva, where all the academic directors from all the schools were having a meeting with our line manager, and it was stressed upon us that we need to do better. We need more students getting grade C, B, A, and we need to get more students getting A's and B's in the Cambridge exams. So there's always pressure. Teachers are acutely under pressure. To perform, because we have to show really that we're different to even the specialized schools and the government schools. With no good us doing the same things that they do.
Yeah. So, what's the thing that you really like of the students here?
Oh, the key thing is that the students want to learn.
Key thing?
Yeah. The students want to learn. The students are good students in every sense, in that they do their work and they want to learn and they're respectful and they've been brought up correctly. That's the thing that you notice. Polite, hardworking, respectful. And too many places in the world, all of that is gone. And that's the main thing that is very noticeable.
What thing do you do not like about
the one thing I don't like, and I've said this, is we do too many exams, too many tests. Everyone here is obsessed with numbers and all of these things, and we're just too much. Everyone's obsessed with IELTS, which is another one of my. Everybody is obsessed with with these things. So there's too much of that. We spend too much time testing kids when we should be teaching kids. But this is the system that we have.
Yeah.
We've actually changed a few things, or the people in Tashkent have. We now work on 2 semesters rather than 4 terms, so the number of exams is cut down. But we do too much summative assessment, too many formal exams. That's my biggest criticism.
That would be the first thing you want to change.
Well, I that's the first thing. If somebody said to me, Frank, what would you change? I would tweak it a little bit. I believe in competition. I believe in measuring. I've got no problem with measuring excellence, but not every 2 weeks, not full exams. But that's the way that it is. That's part of the culture that we've come into. Funny enough, the ironic thing is that's a strength and a weakness.
Can we talk about the assessment system here a little bit? Because we are driving into the assessment.
Yeah.
How are they graded?
So we just finished at the end of semester 1. You find that everyone takes an exam, and they get a score out of, they get 40 marks for that exam, and that adds up to 60 marks of what is called the summative assessments throughout the term. So we just had a 13-week term, and they will get 60 marks for cumulative, add that to 40, and it gives them a score. And unfortunately, there's another thing, we still give them a score of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 based on 85 for grade 7, 80 for grade 8. So we still stick to that familiar Uzbek system of the numbers.
Yeah, grading. It's like just...
Yeah, unfortunately. So that's how we do it. Of course, our kids are mostly getting 5s. It changes a little bit in grade 11, because in grade 11, a student that's getting 80 would be an A student. That's a grade that would get you into Oxford, Cambridge, whereas here it gives you only a 4. So it's, it's a bit strange, but that's how we get. So they get a report, and we send reports home to the parents based on their, because I think they do 15 subjects. 1 year does 17 subjects.
In here?
Yeah.
That's the same. Same about the numbers. So how do you feel about the fairness and transparency?
In what regard?
In exams. In exams of...
Well, I like to think that... yeah, very good. I know that if... as an international teacher, I know what we should do. And I like to think that we mark fairly. When we invigilate, we stick to the rules. I've had a student, not here in my previous school, who cheated, and I basically grabbed his paper and kicked him out and gave him a 0. But they don't like doing that here. You guys don't like doing that, I know.
Cheating is not tolerated there.
Well, cheating is, but I would say that we know that it goes on. But we try and keep it to a minimum through the systems that we do. I tell the students, you don't need to cheat. If you're well prepared, what do you need to cheat for?
Yeah.
Because one of the problems for us is if Cambridge found us cheating, we're a Cambridge exam centre, just as we are an IELTS exam centre, just as we are the SAT exam centre, just as we are the exam centre for EdXL, which is another UK company.
Yeah.
And if they found out that was going on, they would take it away, and they may take it away for all of the schools. So we have to realise that we are representing all the schools. We have standards. We haven't had any scandals here since I've been here, so I think it's fairly transparent. The entrance test, none of the teachers in the school see, none of them mark, none of them, it's administered. We have nothing to do with it. We don't know who's coming in. So that's transparent. Yeah, I'd like to think.
Yeah. We've been talking about the students, and let's move on to the teachers.
Yeah.
How teachers are selected here?
Okay, well, that's an easy question. Local teachers is left to the principal. International teachers are basically recruited in Tashkent and sent from Tashkent. So the principal would have no say in who comes here. So at the beginning of this year, we received 5 new teachers, and they were sent from Tashkent. And we didn't know who they were until they were basically pulling their suitcases up into the dorm.
Yeah.
And so they're chosen for us. We try and have an international teacher and a local teacher in the class for all of our subjects that are in English medium. So, for example, the chemistry teacher has a co-teacher who's a Karakalpak or Uzbek. Biology has the same. Physics has the same. Computer science, 2 classes has the same. Maths has the same. English, we have 2 international, one from the Philippines, one from England. And I teach English in a subject called Global Perspectives and I teach my subject with a local teacher.
One public teacher then cannot enter here to work, I think.
What do you mean? Do you mean local schools?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. They all of the local teachers are working in government schools. Where else would they come from? You know, they're all local. I mean, this year we've taken on the principal's taken on a teacher for English. Last year there wasn't. They take on. We're looking at the principal's going to recruit another local maths teacher, because one of our teachers has moved to another school that is taking on Cambridge, School 55.
Oh.
So they need his expertise there because he can speak English and he can teach Cambridge. So anybody, I think you knock on the door, come in, show your CV. I think they'll give you a lesson, have a look at you. So it's open to anyone. The thing is, though, once teachers come here, they tend not to go back. It's a good environment if you're a teacher.
What kind of teacher is successful here? How do you think that? How do you view?
It depends.
That's the thing you just told, I think.
Yeah. Well, what kind of teacher? You need to be prepared to be scrutinized for your grades. And I can only talk about the international teachers. The international teachers are heavily scrutinized. There's expectations of certain grades, more so than if you were working in a normal state school. Here, you could get terminated if your results were really bad. So you have to know your stuff. And one of the reasons you have to know the subject is because the students are so smart. I mean, if you're teaching grade 11 maths here and you don't know maths, the students will eat you. We have a couple of kids who are, we've got one student, Olympiads. The level of Olympiads is extremely high. So we've got students who are really good in Olympiads. And we've had teachers, I've had teachers before who've come internationally. They've come here and basically I've had students say to me, Mr. Frank, this man no good. Because they're smarter than the teachers.
Yeah.
So in order to survive, you have to be adaptable and you've got to know your job. And you've really got to be, if you're teaching grade 11, you've really got to be at the top of your game because you will not survive.
What do you do in this kind of situation about the teachers? I mean, if they are not working good?
Well, it's not working good. Generally, what happens if that hasn't happened here? That hasn't happened in my time since I've been here. But I've been in school where the principal has terminated staff if they're not working to the level expected. And this has happened throughout the presidential schools. This is not what I call. I worked in other countries where many of us call teachers tourists. And one of my postings before, and teachers were just in and out, and they were on holiday for 2 years. And it didn't really matter because there was no expectation. Here, we expect if you're teaching 9, 10, well, all of the teachers, you need to be on. You need to be on it. You need to know your job, and if you're doing external exams, you need to produce good scores.
Can any student then make complaints about the teachers?
Yeah,
anytime.
Yeah,
because we have seen some things here, some feedback stuff.
Yeah. No, where is there feedback there?
No, feedback box.
Yeah, of course. Of course. We recently got accredited by a body called CIS. So the school is accredited to a body that looks at schools around the world and says we've reached certain standards. Schools in Dubai, in South America, in Singapore, in all over the world. And Yes, of course. Students, if they're not happy about something, they can voice their opinion.
What is the strongest achievement of the students of here who left this school, who finished this school? For example, last year, before the
Well,
previous year.
last year we've got
Highest.
we've got 8 students in international universities. We've got a student in Brown University at the moment. In the presidential schools, I believe there's one student that's in Harvard at the moment from Namangan. There's another one that's just been accepted. So there's many who go to universities, top 100, top 200 universities around the world. It depends on what you're studying. But we had 8 out of 24. 8 out of 24 is pretty good. And we've got 24 students this year who are applying, and I would imagine 18 of them have got offers from universities. They would reach the standard needed, but then you get involved in the game of trying to get scholarships. So I see my job as making sure that you get if they want 3 A's or 2 B's and an A, my job is to get you to get that. Finding the money is another game because it's very competitive. And there are very good students outside in the government schools, in the local schools, very good students. There's a board. If you have a look later on, you'll see on the board there, we've had lots of students, a number of students. Actually, one of our counselors here went to Arizona University. Yeah. So he's come back and he's working with us.
Oh, that's good.
Which is good.
Yeah. I have a situation. One student maybe moved to another city, but he's studying in here. What can he do?
What grade?
5 or 7, 9.
When you say what can he do, you mean
his father has to move to another region
for work.
What do they do? Yeah, for government work.
Yeah, you mean should he stay or should he take him? I think at 5 to grade 7 you're fairly adaptable. Difficult if you're in a good school.
I mean, do they go to the same school?
You mean presidential school?
Yeah. For example, I saw a student here. His name is, I think, Behruz.
Yeah.
From Kashkadarya.
Yeah.
What's his situation?
I don't understand the question. You mean he's in the presidential school?
Yeah.
If his parents move,
yeah,
it's unlikely that they'll be able to find another spot for him in another presidential school.
No, they should stay here.
It's unlikely because we've got classes of 12. So if a student's in grade 8 and if he moves to Namangan and there's only 23 students, he might get a place. But there are a few students that this has happened. So that's that case. But again, I'm as academic director, that is admin. I would imagine that if a parent moves and he's in the presidential school, he's just going to have to live with his grandparents or like that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the point.
Because it's difficult to get in. And leaving this school is something no student wants to do.
Yeah.
Once they're in the door, very, very difficult.
What about a student leaves this school at 7th grade or maybe more? Do you usually call other failure students?
Yes. So we have a student. We have a student. If a student leaves, we'll plug the gap. We've had a couple of students who, if they leave, or in some schools, we've had students who cannot make the academics. They leave. They will pull in the school as a student from outside. And I think we have a couple of students in this school who didn't make it in grade 5 or actually grade 6 because of COVID. So some of our students started in 6 and we'll pull in a student from the outside and then they have to make up.
What's their future? Can they survive in this condition?
From outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, yeah. One of the girls last year who came in grade 10 got 15. Am I wrong? Thinking she got 1580 on SAT from a local school. Came in here and 8 on IELTS. Yeah, of course it can be done.
Yeah.
You see, you've got students outside who can get IELTS scores.
Yes. You can see lots of things.
But our priority is not IELTS. one of the things that, you asked me, another thing that's wrong. Priority is not IELTS. IELTS is a side.
Yeah.
Our priority is delivering Cambridge and A levels. I like to think now, and particularly now with our grade 10 students, they should be getting 7.5, 8 without doing IELTS tuition. Because the priority is what we call the A level and the AS levels. And many of our students who've been offered places in the UK and around the world, IELTS isn't asked for. And you can get into a top 100 university in the UK with IELTS 6.5. It's strange, huh?
Yeah.
And some don't even ask.
What do they do after finishing this presidential school? I mean,
every student here has a place in the presidential university in Tashkent, no matter what.
Any kind of field they are granted?
No, they can go to that university. No matter what grades they get, they can get in. That's been the case in the past. That may change in the future. Of course, a lot of our students, because they get good grades, will go overseas, or they will spend a year here and then go overseas the year after. A student, for example, who wants to study in Italy, Uzbekistan only offers 11 years of school. Some of the European countries want 12. So they spend a year and then they go overseas. But yeah, most of our students will be going to Tashkent. Some of them might be going to private universities, some might be going to Westminster.
What about that? Do they have grants, scholarships for that university?
I think our students, if they went to Westminster and they would pass the entrance test, if they've got 8 IELTS, if they've got 1500 plus on SAT, they've got the grades that would get them a scholarship. Exactly, I'm not sure, because most of our students are looking to go overseas. We get a few that go to Westminster, and there's a law college there. There's business schools that students go to.
How should these graduates contribute to the country in the future?
Well, that's up to them. Those students that get EU scholarships, Elliott and Moody scholarships, are bonded. They have to come back and work 5 years, I believe. So their path is very much that they'll be coming back and they'll be working in whatever fields they've studied, whether it's law, business, something to do with computing. So they come back and they work. And what they offer is expertise. What they offer is a perspective. If you've been educated in an English system, gone overseas to America or Korea, you come back, you have a skill set. If you speak 3 or 4 languages, you speak Russian, you speak, Karakalpak, you will understand Turkish fairly easily. They're highly skilled. So students say this, people say to me, if they can't add something to the country, no matter what they do, something is wrong. So students that go overseas bring expertise back, because one of the ironies is that we need our best. Well, you need your best students to stay in the country. Yeah. So instead of all the students going overseas, you need to make that university in Tashkent a university that people want to go to, because it's never going to get. It aspires to become by 2030 in the top 300 universities in the world, and it won't do that without some top students. It won't be able to do that.
What values of a teacher do you really respect?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Me, I make no secret of the fact that let's say a management situation, I want teachers that are low maintenance, teachers that you can trust. If you're the biology teacher, the chemistry teacher, the science teacher, the English teacher, I trust you that you're going to do. I shouldn't be looking over your shoulder. So you've got to be trust. That means you've got to be hardworking. That means you have got to be knowledgeable. If you come into this system and you don't know Cambridge, you've got to learn Cambridge. And that's the most important thing. You've got to be adaptable. You want to be hardworking. You also want to be a good colleague. It's very important, particularly when people are working overseas. That's the main thing. But my main thing is you've got to trust and hire well Hire teachers that know their job, and that you can trust. So then you're not constantly looking over their shoulder and managing them, wondering if all the students if you've got a teacher in IELTS and every student's getting an 8 in writing, in most places I would be going, nah, I don't believe you. Yeah. But if you want to trust the teacher, if they say 8 in writing, I want to be going, you're doing a great job. I've no need to check because I trust you. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Is the pressure heavier than the students? Is the pressure of teachers heavier than the students one?
No. Pressure on the students is far heavier than it is on staff. Yeah. It's I joke with the students here that they're in a meat grinder. The thing for the gersh before you're going to make the somsa. Yeah. So that's where it is. It's very, very competitive. Yeah. Very competitive. But as I say, it's a presidential school. I would expect if you sent your son to Barcelona Football Academy, I would expect it to be tough. Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah. And I've been into School 55 here. I've been into vocational schools here. Those students are really good. Very good. I went in recently because we've got a joint project with them, and the students are excellent. One of the grades, I went in a grade 6 class. Excellent students. They could survive in this school with a bit of adapting. So no, the pressure here is on students because they put the pressure on themselves. Their parents put the pressure on them. There's expectation that they're going to go. Everybody wants to go to Harvard. Yeah, that's not happening.
What about Harvard?
Yeah.
Did you have any of the students who went there?
Not in this school, no. I think in the presidential school there's one at the moment and another one going. Of the 14 schools. I'm not sure. There's a girl, I think. It's a girl.
What about Shahshahan?
I don't think he's applied to Harvard.
No. I mean, what kind of student?
You applied to Harvard?
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Why?
I mean, I got some reasons. I've applied to other universities, like Ivies, some Ivies like Amherst. Then another LACs mostly. Yeah. US. I haven't applied to Harvard yet. I haven't actually.
Yeah. I think Harvard is a fascination. Yeah, it gets more credit than it deserves. There's plenty of universities that are. The thing about Harvard, it's like having a Mercedes on the front of your car.
Do you also think that it's really overrated?
I think it's massively overrated. Yeah. Particularly now with the way that they've their policies have been they've gone to court. Their policies have been biased against Asian students, Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese students, American students. It's a great university, no doubt, but any university in the top 300 is good. And the key thing that I say to my students, any university is good as long as somebody else is paying. Because let's say you want to go to America, it's $5,000 a month. Who can afford that?
If you can afford, go.
Well, who can afford $5,000 a month?
Yeah.
Nobody. We're in a school with a country. But there are the universities in Korea, universities in Hong Kong. We've got students Hong Kong, excellent places. Singapore, very good. European universities. I'm very happy to see that we've got one of the girls who's applied for a university in Cyprus. What a wonderful experience on a wonderful island. What a great experience that would be. Imagine living in Istanbul, Turkey, what a wonderful city to live in and study. And you've got the advantage of the language. European universities, there's universities in Hungary. This is a country that's got a rich heritage. Finland is another one. They offer opportunities. So, I say to our students, Britain, England's easy to get offered a place, but you won't get a scholarship. They don't give any money. You'd have to get your money this end. So we've got a number of students who've got into universities like Glasgow. Good university, Glasgow, and Birmingham and places like this, Warwick, which are fine. But you'd have to get your money this side.
Do the students come to you to ask advice?
Yeah, some do.
Some-
We have a counsellor, but I say they do. What I've said to you, yeah. Advice. My main advice to students at the moment is get your grades, and then all of that will follow. Get the best grades. They stay with you for life. Getting A grades or A. We have a couple of students, I think, who've got offered a place where they need to get 4 A stars. Now that means 90% plus in A levels in sciences and maths. That is very difficult to do, because this is far harder than most systems. I mean, Cambridge A levels are very tough. That's the equivalent of getting like 43, 44. 43, what's the top score in IB? 45? So, yeah, students come, they ask me. I tell them to be flexible. Doesn't just have to be America.
Yeah. It's just whoever learns English and begins to dream about America or the London, England.
England, fine. England, fine. But
it's very difficult.
It's difficult. But having travelled around the world, America's education. The irony is, America's like 25th in education scores. They get beaten by Cambodia, Croatia.
Yeah.
Our students kill them in maths and English scores. But their best universities are the best in the world. They're very, very good. But there's a lot of good places around the world. A lot of interest in Korea and Japan and Singapore. Education is valued. The universities are good, and it's in English. And if they're paying, bite their hand off, take their money.
You need to have your education, then you can go as many places as you want.
Yes,
there are so many places.
Yeah. That's the key thing. Apply for America. Lots of students are filling out the Common App.
But they want to travel to England. That's why they can travel.
England's fine. England requires grades, and England, the problem is the English side doesn't give scholarships.
Yeah.
And I think here, to get money out of the government, you need to get to a top 50 university. And then they might think about it. But it's very competitive. There's 14 schools. Every year there's 24 graduates. So how many is that? Over 300 students each year. Plus students from the vocational, specialised schools and government schools. And I've been into government schools, private schools here. Students are very good. There's lots of good students outside the presidential schools. Yeah. Very, very able, well-taught, motivated, smart, multilingual, very impressive.
These are selected 24, but there are many outside here.
Yeah, we could take 24 more. We're a very small school. We're only 168. Many of the students who come here come from schools where there were 800, 600, 700. So we're very small. We could fit, we have rooms, so our students are 12 per class. It's a very small school, very small building. Our students are 12 per class, which helps us be very successful in certain things. So if you want to have a class where everybody speaks, it's a lot easier with 12 than it is with 40. I'm still looking good.
You look young. I have some personal questions.
Yeah.
Which city or town are you from in England?
I'm from a town called Exeter.
Exeter.
Which nobody's ever heard of. It's like when you guys, we had a student who recently, one of our grade 11 girls recently went to Italy. And I was joking with her, and I said, you told them where you were from. You said you're from Karakal, Pakistan. They didn't know where that was. They looked at you and they thought you were Chinese, because she looks Karakal. She said they thought you were Chinese. Then they thought maybe you were Singapore, whatever it is. Then they thought you were half European and half Chinese. Then you told them Uzbekistan. They still didn't know where it was. Then you said it's near Afghanistan. They went, oh, and they knew where you were. So I'm the same. I'm from a town called Exeter, which is in the southwest of England. Nearest big city would be Plymouth. Exeter has a university. It's pretty good. It's where J.K. Rowling went.
Yeah.
She went there. The one who wrote Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
Who else went there? I'm trying to think. But it's. I wasn't smart enough to go there, so I went to London to study.
What about football?
Well, unfortunately, I'm a Man United fan, so I've had 12 years of pain and suffering. It's walking around with a broken head because they've been awful.
I have a friend who supports Manchester United.
Yeah.
And I sometimes do. I watch lots of football teams. EPL is the best.
EPL is incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when Arsene Wenger first went there and he said, "What's it like?" He said, "The difference." He said, even with foreign players, he says, in other countries, you're losing, they give up. In England, they don't.
I like the competition system.
Yeah.
EPL. That's why I decided to make it in my classes. At school, I have some leagues, and they get points after studying.
Yeah, good idea.
That's my EPL at school one.
Yeah, but who's Wolves?
Who's Wolves?
Some poor kid is Wolves, and he's going to suffer. You've scarred him for life this year.
Yeah.
Wolves are terrible.
But I have also some students who are Manchester United, and I have named them, and other clubs.
That's good.
Which you don't like.
Yeah. No, I don't dislike any side.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Man United fan, but Liverpool last season were fabulous. Manchester City have been great for 10 years. Arsenal this year are very good.
Yeah.
Brentford, I mean, what Thomas Frank did in Brentford is incredible from where they were. You know, he did a great job. Went to Spurs, and, you know, Spurs are
Let's talk about hard trusts. Yeah. I have some hard questions to you.
hard.
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. They are really hard. Do presidential schools create leaders or just high achievers?
Good question.
It's just
I've got you. Well, it's not just presidential schools. Is does your culture produce leaders or high achievers? So I would put the question back, not just the kids, because we are still a government school. We still operate within government systems. We still have the mentality. So we are products of our environment. Our people, you know, I think of a leader as someone that would do something someone that would make a decision without looking to somebody above them and worrying about it. Now, if I said that to people here, which are you? Would you make a decision without thinking about the consequences, or would you make a decision and ask your boss first and worry about it? And I know that people normally here, the style is more of even if you're a boss, you ask the boss of your boss. So at the moment, we do have high achievers. Leadership will come, but in order to see, we don't see leaders unless they're given leadership positions, and we don't see leaders unless they're given the opportunity to make decisions. Because too many times, in my observation, is someone is a leader, but he never makes a decision. Because when he makes a decision, he picks up the phone and asks somebody else. You're not a leader, and the problem is that the people above need to trust the people in the place. So that's a very good question. We're training people that are well capable of being leaders, particularly some of I can think of a couple of boys, but I can think of a number of girls that I would say would be very strong in leaders. So yeah.
Can they be academically strong but emotionally fragile?
Absolutely. Two separate things.
Yeah.
Absolutely, two separate things. Just look at the number of people, number of successful people who have nervous breakdowns, who are very fragile. We have actors, actresses, talented people, business people, who behind the scenes have got real problems. So absolutely, which is why we have to be careful that we're a boarding school. We have to make sure that we look after our students. We see our students more than their parents. I've had parents come to me and I say, look, we see your child more than you do.
Yes.
So when you're asking what we're doing, or you should do this, you've trusted us to look after your child. So back off a little bit and trust us. But to answer your question there, absolutely, two different things. Good question.
And let's move on to competition again. Should it be softened or?
Nah, we're way too competitive.
Yeah.
Way too competitive. I'm not a fan of Olympiads. I'm certainly not a fan of the pressure that students are placed in Olympiads. I don't believe Olympiads are fair. I've made this very clear. I'm not saying anything that's going to get me into trouble. There's enough pressure on our kids, but when kids go away to Olympiads and I hear that the teachers are cheating, it just drives me mad. Kids, they're great. Don't get me wrong. The standards don't get me wrong, but it's yet another competitive thing that is the meat grinder for the presidential school.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan. We do enough. We're competitive enough, and that just adds pressure because it's generally the Olympiad is the same kids.
Can you consider the teachers of this presidential school, of any presidential school, replaceable or irreplaceable?
No, everyone's replaceable.
Yeah.
Everyone's replaceable. Once you, I'm not saying that you would replace like for like, but once you start to believe that nobody can replace you, that's impossible. No. Whether they're international or local, everybody's, and that should be a good thing. Look, I was in Bukhara, and one of the local teachers, the Uzbek teachers are always saying, local teachers, we'd love to become international teachers. I said, that's great. They said, but it's so hard for us. I said, that's a different thing. I didn't say it'd be easy. But, and we have a teacher that went from Bukhara and has now gone to China. So he's now working in China as an international teacher. He worked at the presidential school for 3 years alongside an international teacher. He learned, he worked hard. He spoke in English all the time. He learned to be like a marker for the Cambridge exam. So what you do is you can become one of the markers. So all the exams in the world, because there are 1 million students doing Cambridge. So there's 100,000, let's say, in grade 10 and 11 papers that mark. He learned to do that. And he's gone to China and he's on good money and he's with his wife and they've got a house and he's got free schooling for his kid. And he's done great. So it can be done. And he's a huge, huge thing to replace. But that's what we aspire to. We'll want every teacher move on from here and we'll replace you, hopefully with someone who will be better. Sometimes it's not the case.
If you are not good, you can be replaced.
Well, if you're good, you can be replaced. There's no such thing. Messi left Barcelona.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is an old man now, earning money in. Everybody will be replaced. We all die.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing. If the teacher believes that I'm at the presidential school and can't be replaced, then that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think. You never know. I mean, anything can happen.
Interesting question. I just noticed that you are saying too much about Barcelona and Messi. Are you a fan of Barcelona?
I'm not a fan, but you've got to admire them. You've got to admire them. When I saw that team, they're just fabulous. Now they're a good football club, but that team.
You know them, just.
Yeah. They were.
You're just only Manchester United fan.
No. I'm a Man United fan, but Barcelona were, even when Real Madrid were good, Barcelona was a machine.
Yeah.
Barcelona was a system, whereas Real Madrid is always just a selection of. We've got 8 of the best players in the world. Barcelona never really had. Take Messi out, and they were all great, but that one guy just killed everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'd have been as successful at Real Madrid because the other players wouldn't have played for him in the same way.
Being a role model for teachers, is it okay or not?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that I'm a role model. I do my job, try to do it to the best of my ability. I pass on, it's like I was the other day, if I was teaching IELTS and we're doing IELTS writing, and I keep saying, whatever your tutor's been telling you, it's wrong. And I suggest this is your method, but you can choose to do it, but there's no other alternative really. You know, you can choose to do it, and I'm telling you because I have 25 years experience, this sort of works. But if somebody else is telling you to do it slightly differently, you go right ahead and do it the way that you want. So as far as being a role model, I've sort of experienced. I know not what to do in certain situations. I'm organized, I like to think. But there are far more talented teachers and smarter people in the class than me. That's for sure.
Is this school a presidential school for best students, or do they just create them?
Well, if you're selected at the end of grade 4,
it means best.
It means you were the best students at the end of grade 4. It means you were the best students at passing the tests. So the fact that we have in this school, like I think nearly 20 students from one tutoring school, shows that guy did his job. Now I've seen, having seen students who didn't get in the top 24 that came in later, who are just as good. And when I go to other schools and I see students who they could come in, I'm not saying that these top 24 are here on merit, no doubt about it. They spent a year, they worked hard, their parents spent money, their parents drove them to a tuition school. Yes. These kids worked hard. So if you come through our doors, you've deserved it. There's no luck about it whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely.
No luck. And I say this, but if you think that you are way better than some of the school, a student is in school 27 or something, that's not the case, because we could drop one and bring one in. And I know that they would be fine, because there's a lot of good students outside. But we like to think that we make students that the local schools cannot do. If we were the same as the local schools, what is the point of us?
Yes.
Just spread the money around to the other schools.
Yes.
We are a focal point for the best. Yeah. Yes. So I think we take the best students at the end of grade 4, which is young. Some of the students, I would probably say, if they did another test, we could have taken somebody else. But we certainly make good students by the time they finish in grade 11.
Being best, you come here, then afterwards you're best.
Well, you're the best of the test. The key thing is every time you're the best at the test. And being good at 11 isn't good at 16. You see, the thing that I joke with at school is there's a disproportionate number of girls who are good at the bottom end of school. That's because they're 2 years ahead, emotionally, maturity-wise, intellectually. A girl who's 12 and a boy who's 12, the boy is a baby. The girl is a fully formed human.
Yeah.
Yes? And so they have that huge advantage coming in here, I think.
One last hardest question.
Oh.
Then after we can ease the situation. If presidential schools didn't exist, what would Uzbekistan's education lose?
If it didn't exist?
Yeah. If they
you'd lose a lot of expertise. You'd lose a lot of expertise. You wouldn't be doing Cambridge. You wouldn't be working at the students' English would be okay to pass IELTS, but IELTS is a game. You know, you'd lose a lot of expertise. Kids would be limited in what they could do or going to university. The level of English here for our students by the time they're 10 and 11 is there's no comparison with others. It depends. The education system here is quite strong, but again, it's limited. It's too competitive. Everyone's obsessed with numbers.
Absolutely.
You know, and the other thing is what we've done is we've introduced, hopefully, for the local teachers. See, another thing, local teachers are also driven by a textbook. I often say, I often say to teacher, what's the scheme of work? And they say it's a textbook. That mentality, this is a tool. what are the skills that you're trying to do? It's not a textbook. So you would lose that. Students would lose a perspective about the world because they just wouldn't be surrounded by, you take our school, Filipino teachers, Pakistani, English, South African, Kenyan, Nigerian. Who've I missed? Guys, who've I missed? I think that's it.
Yeah.
12 teachers. Other schools, different nationalities. So you get another perspective.
Yes.
Seeing. So, but again, depending on the investment, I don't think the country's got a strong education system also because the Russians left you with really good education. Really good maths, far stronger than the English system. Kid in grade 9 in a Russian school is ahead of ours.
Yeah.
But once they get to grade 11 and going to university, we're all caught up. But very strong, very strong. I hope that answers your question. That's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that your question?
Yeah,
That's a good one.
It's not the end. We have just game like an activity.
Okay.
Just quick choices. You just choose one. You don't have to explain, but anyway, if you want, you can do it. Talent or discipline?
Discipline.
IQ or character?
Character.
Competition or collaboration?
Now, competition.
Freedom. You want?
Competition, yeah. Difficult one, that.
Yeah, freedom or structure? It's
No, you
like
need-
a talent or discipline.
No. You need structure. I say one thing to students all the time. I said, everyone says, these students are very ambitious. I said, ambitious needs a structure. Ambition needs a plan.
Yes.
So all of these things, you need a plan. One of my favorite sayings is Eisenhower, the general in World War II who planned, who was in charge of Normandy. And he said, plans are useless, but planning is essential. And I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, let's move on then.
Yeah, go on.
Local impact or global success?
Nah, local impact. It has to be local impact. There's no point of it.
Again, discipline or creativity?
Well, you need creativity, don't you? But yeah, discipline is everything. Yeah.
Messi or Ronaldo?
I think Messi's a better footballer.
I just mean the talent or hard work.
No. I think this is over. I think this is exaggerated. The difference between the two. People forget that when Messi was at Barcelona, they gave the kid steroids. So it's all very well saying he was talented. They gave him steroids because he was too small. So they cheated because they realized. But and you've also got to remember that hard work is a talent. Discipline is a talent. Good looks, I tell you to students, good looks is a talent. So it's easy to take away from Ronaldo and say it's just hard work.
Yeah.
Because there's no, Kobe Bryant was the same. So I think Messi is a far better footballer. But who's effective? Who's that franchise player? Wherever Ronaldo's gone, he's made everybody better.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Exams or projects?
Yeah, no exams. Projects, teachers do too much, and they're too wishy-washy. I've got no problem with the right amount of exams.
Strict teachers or empathetic?
Well, you need empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, that's a difficult question because you need empathy. But sometimes your empathy you need to impose a system and be strict. That's all. There are some teachers who are strict just because they think that's what you do what you need to get the best out of the people in your organization. And if that means a shapalock, then that's
shapalock.
Yeah. If it needs a shapalock, yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, you didn't hear. You thought it was an English word. No, a slap. Yes.
Grades or feedback? Feedback.
Well, a grade is feedback,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem here it's okay,
Uh,
feedback.
It's a hard one.
Well, grades are feedback.
Yeah, British system or Uzbek context. But that's no. You don't have to choose.
No. There's a lot that's good with the education system here. British system. My own view is that if you're setting up a system, you look for good practice. If you just say we'll copy the Americans, well, American system's a failure. Their education is you only have to. Their education system they score terribly. Their universities are really good or they're really bad. You know, they're the best in the world and the worst in the world. And so, but there's a lot of things in the American system. I worked in American system, American schools that are fabulous that I don't like about the English system.
Yeah.
So just look at the system and take good practice from each one. But I would say if you were to say to me Uzbek system or British system, of course, because outside Uzbekistan, there's a British system school in virtually every country in the world, including Russia. There's no Uzbek school that's anywhere outside Uzbekistan. As if it were good, they would do it. You still use, the Russian education system, whatever you think, most teachers if you go around a school or an organization and you ask the teachers where they're putting their kids, they're putting them in Russian schools, even if they're Uzbek and Karakalpak.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah.
Because they're good.
Mm-hmm. Another point, the last point, I think. I'll name an element of the education system. You say keep it, change it, or remove it.
Okay.
Traditional exams.
Change it.
Homework.
Change it.
Student ranking.
Remove it.
School uniforms.
No, keep it.
Teacher-centered lessons. I think it's here.
No. Well, look, but you see, this is another thing. If you look at what teacher-centered and child-centered means doing what the child wants, and that does not mean that it's not a lecture.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a lecture.
Absolutely.
Yes. We now believe that teacher-centered means standing in a blackboard, classes in rows, and everything is like this. And that is just dull and boring. But sometimes you need to spend 10 minutes and lecture. But the general idea is you do things that the students need. So the old-fashioned way of teacher-centeredness, no, that doesn't work. And it does work because if you go to China, they have great results. It's totally teacher-centered.
Yes.
Sit down, shut up, do as you're told. 40 in a class, great results. But then you have to look at what are they producing, as opposed to, a thing where kids are doing projects, kids are standing in front of the boards, kids are the teachers. Okay, a bit of a mixture of the both, to be honest. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Parent pressure. Keep changing.
Well, you can't get away from parent pressure.
Yeah.
Parents want what's best for their kids, but parents need to be informed about what we're actually doing. We had a meeting when I first came here, and one of the parents stood up at the back and said, "Oh, the kids in the presidential school are not doing as well in Olympiads." And I stood up and said, "That's not our business. You want to do Olympiads, you stay. We're not in the Olympiad business. Olympiad is a different little game. We are producing students to get qualifications at the end of grade 11. The Olympiads is a different game." And you're quite right. The local, but it's the same as IELTS. If all a student looks at is IELTS, they should get a good IELTS score. But we've got a kid doing IELTS, SAT, A levels, project. They need to do work so that they can. They're doing work in the community. They're doing work experience. They're helping other students, and then they're doing 15 subjects. Very difficult, to compare that body of work with a student that's just going to school to do IELTS. It's very difficult.
Well, I need another 3 things for me to speak. What would you say to students who are learning English or who want to enter this school or anywhere, and to the teachers, English teachers maybe, and to the parents, your words?
Well, you mean
Advice.
you want to come in here in grade 4?
Yeah. Any students who are learning English?
Yeah, you want to learn English, read. Read, watch English movies. There's no great secret to it. You just need to get into a lot of English. Don't be afraid to talk. Listen to your teachers, which is important, and hope that your teachers are telling you the right things. You just got to surround yourself with English and use it as much as you can. Difficult here because for many students, English is a third or fourth language.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Read, enjoy the language. You know, I'm telling my kids to go home and watch movies, watch cartoons. Just, you know, don't get obsessed with vocabulary.
Yes.
You know, I hear students, oh, my IELTS teacher says vocabulary. I say, you don't need vocabulary. So,
Just speak.
well, all right, whatever level you're at, yeah, it's not about vocabulary. That will come. Get in a good environment. Get in a, you know, obviously you need to go to some learning and language school. Get in a place where you're speaking, you're listening, you're having fun. Enjoy it as well. Yeah. No secrets. Same thing you're telling them.
Yeah. What about the parents? Okay. What about the teachers? What do you suggest teachers for English teachers?
For what? For what level?
Any?
Well, my big thing here is that, particularly for IELTS,
Yeah.
is that the level of understanding of writing is very poor amongst English teachers.
What should they do?
Well, they need to learn what writing is. Kids commonly get a 9.966 or 6.5 6, and the two production skills that are really down to teaching are poor, because I think the level of teaching is poor. The level of writing is poor. Need to understand writing, understand the genres. There's too much attention paid to vocabulary. Vocabulary is not important. Basic vocabulary, but it's not. You don't need vocabulary in order. If you look in all these IELTS books and they put in an example of a 7 IELTS, it isn't really big words, is it? It's organization, it's paragraphing, it's, you know, cohesive markers, it's clear indication from the beginning what this essay is going to be about. Do you agree or disagree? I disagree for 2 reasons. To begin with. And at the end, in conclusion, the reason I don't agree with this is because of A and B. Now, I've just outlined an essay that most students don't do. And that's my plan. I've done it in 5 seconds. And you can put that to virtually any essay, but it's poorly done. But I must say here, I admire the way that IELTS teachers get kids to get really good scores on the reading when I know they don't understand the text.
Yeah.
You guys are brilliant at that.
It's just IELTS.
Because IELTS reading is really tough.
Yeah.
But you do so well.
It depends on the tips, I think.
I don't know how you do it. Sometimes I know you don't understand, but you do it well. But the reason you do it well is you practice so much. The kids get to work. You know, when you begin teaching IELTS, 3 texts in an hour, nobody ever finishes.
Yeah.
Nobody finishes 2 texts in an hour.
Yes.
And then
That's
slowly you stop second guessing yourself and you practice and you get confidence.
Your brain is tired.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything, for letting me do this podcast.
No, you're welcome. Very interesting. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good questions.
Thank you very much.
Not your obvious. I mean, some of them are difficult questions.
Yeah.
Difficult questions.
It's typically an Uzbek language podcast, but I'm an English teacher since I know English, so I'm doing it in English. Hopefully, it will be more in English.
That's okay. Yeah. Good luck.
That's the end of my podcast. I usually give a present to the guests,
Okay.
but I think you don't like this word. But anyway,
No. But IELTS IELTS Biruni. Is that your center?
Yeah. Biruni is our town.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
This is my project. It's my like portfolio.
Okay, I'll have a look. Yeah, no. I like IELTS. It's just that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's two things here. You walk down the street, IELTS Learning Center or Doracona. Doracona. Yeah.
Chemist.
Or a chemist, a pharmacy, you know?
Yeah, pharmacy.
Every other shop is one of those two.
Yeah.
But anyway. But no, thank you. That was good. And best of luck to your students. Just keep studying, everybody. That's it. There's no secrets. So I get people say, any secrets for IELTS? No. Study.
Yes.
But study smart. But study. There's no secret, no shortcuts. Ronaldo goes to bed 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
If you have some words about podcast, wishes, you
no,
can
good.
say.
No, very, very good luck with the podcast. It's the new thing now. Podcasts have taken over. So we're hoping that this will be the equivalent of the Joe Rogan experience here in Karakal, Pakistan. Yeah.
Joe Rogan in Biruni.
The Joe Rogan Biruni experience.
Yeah.
Yes. So enjoy this. I hope I wasn't too boring, but the questions were very good and heartfelt, and wish everybody who's taking exams and who's doing IELTS and who's getting prepared to come to the presidential school, work hard, and to the parents, if you send your child here, you won't regret it. We will do a good job. We will look after them, and you won't regret it at all. So thank you very much.
Shu bilan podkastimizning keyingi soni ham o'zini hayosini aytdi. Shu yerga deyін ko'rib o'tgan bo'lsanglar, albatta sizlarga rahmat deb qolamiz. Va bizlarga vaqtini ayamay kelgani uchun janob Frankfurt bilan ham katta rahmat.
Rahmat.
Bu yerda yordamda turgan asosiy qahramon Shohjahonga katta rahmat. Undan boshqa Asl Studio, Mirbek, KMM Entertainment sanada katta rahmat. Podkastimizning bu soni Prezident maktabida tushirildi. Hammaga rahmat, omad. Ko'rishda davom eting.
It's my camera. Where am I?
It's yours.
That's mine. How do I look? And that one.
Yeah, it's both of us. Goodbye. See you.
Husniddin Sarsenbayev bilan ta'limiy mavzularda Kichik Auditoriya podkasti. Kichik Auditoriya Husniddin Sarsenbayev bilan